Hey guys, Rolliat or Taylor here, and today I'm back with another The Division 2 video. In today's video, we're going to go over everything that we know about the True Sons faction that's going to be in The Division 2. This is currently the only faction we know, or the only faction that we've seen within The Division 2, but we do have a lot of backstory to cover, so let's get straight into it. Like I said, this is the only faction that we currently know of in The Division 2, but much like The Division 1, there's going to be multiple factions for us to fight against. So how are factions going to act in The Division 2? They're going to act a lot differently than we currently know of in The Division 1. Not only us, the agents, but civilians and factions are going to be fighting to survive. We're all going to be searching for things like food, medicine, and ammunition. As factions face off against each other within the world of DC, they will fight to seize control of resources and locations. Now, all factions, civilians, and agents are going to be part of such a thriving, living, dynamic world within The Division 2. There's going to be many different encounters between enemy and friendly factions, civilians, and us, the agent, creating that dynamic living world that I talked about. There's always going to be something for us to do, always something keeping us on our toes, and ultimately something trying to stop our fight for survival. Less of factions as a whole, let's dive into the backstory of the True Sons. Now, believe it or not, the True Sons actually started out as part of the JTF in the early beginnings of the crisis. They were assigned to protect the capital, but after 7 months of chaos, things happened and some of them switched sides. Now led by a brutal warlord, they are terrorizing the weak and are the brutal bullies on the streets. Their simple goal is to rule the city with terror and cruelty, and it's up to you to find out why it happened. Like I said, they weren't just part of the JTF, they're actually run by an ex-JTF officer. Now again, much like the Division 1, there's going to be different types of enemies within that faction. Within the True Sons, there are currently the following. We have an assault, a sniper. Now, something a little bit different with a sniper in the Division 2 is that they can actually lay down or prone in grass, and it makes them even harder to see and harder to hit. I actually experienced this whilst playing the E3 demo, and it completely threw me off, but it was insanely cool to see. So like I said, the assault, the sniper, a grenadier, or somebody that's always throwing grenades, but remember there's a lot of weak points to aim for in the Division 2, so you're going to be able to shoot the grenades or even shoot the grenade belt on his hip, and this will trigger an explosion. As well as that, he won't be able to throw anymore because you would have destroyed them all. The medic, but this time he's completely revamped. He actually has the ability to revive fellow faction members or other NPCs that you've downed. But again, going back to the weak points, if you shoot his shock pads or res pads, whatever you want to call them, it's going to create an electric shock and electrocute him and other NPCs around him. He can actually shock you though, so don't get too close to him. So not only can he heal his friendlies, he can also resurrect them. So I'd definitely put this one high on the pecking order. And now an all new type of enemy. This time the Immobilizer. This guy's actually very responsible for crowd control. His weapon, although it can fire bullets, it also shoots riot foam, and if this lands on you, you're staying in that position. You're going to be stuck there and you're going to take a lot of damage. But again, weak points, if you shoot his riot foam tank, it's going to spray all of the foam over him and close by NPCs, giving you easy pickings. Now finally, we've all seen him and all heard of him, the tank. He's going to have a ton of armor and he's going to be very hard to take down, but there's going to be multiple ways to kill him. For example, if you're a high enough level and have unlocked your specialized weapon, then you could use this. It's going to deal huge amounts of damage to his armor. Or if you aren't, you can use your primary or secondary weapon to chip away at his armor to expose vulnerable body parts. And then being able to hit those vulnerable body parts, you're going to deal a lot of damage to his health. Much like the Grenadier, if you shoot his grenade pack, he's going to run out of grenades and thus throw away his grenade launcher, so you're not going to be spammed by grenades much longer. I know I'm bringing it back up, but when I played at the E3 demo, being able to tactically take down this guy, it didn't feel like a slog like it does in the current game. It doesn't feel like you're just wasting rounds and rounds and rounds. When you're shooting him and seeing his armor peel away and then hitting his weak points, it's really satisfying, and you're going to enjoy it a lot more in the Division 2 than you would the Division 1. Now remember, although we've seen a lot of gameplay of this faction, this isn't the final version and it could be set to change. We don't know, so do take this with a pinch of salt. Again, all factions aren't going to have all of the same enemy types within, so I think we might have some surprises when we see other factions. So that's pretty much all we know for the True Sons. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, then let me know by either leaving a comment or by clicking that like button. And if you're new around here and want to stay up to date with all the things of Division 2, then please make sure to subscribe. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.